Pacquiao.
Cotto wants an opponent. Would you fight him?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, you would have asked me up until like maybe 5 years ago, I was still wanting to avenge that loss, man. But now I'm like, God, that guy hits hard, man. I don't know. I don't know if I need that in my life at this age.
You're shaking your head?
I don't want him to fight anymore. I want him to do what he does best.
I mean, you offer me enough money, I'll jump off a bridge if you offer me enough money.
But, you know, it's crazy, Paulie. We could talk about Amir Khan, we could talk about Danny Garcia, Adrian Broner, Cotto. You faced all of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Exactly. He's a two-way champion. What's he got to prove? He's fought in Europe. He's now commentating both sides of the pond.
Maybe he wants a Bugatti. Do you guys pay him enough to buy a Bugatti?
Do you know what? It's all about, he loves challenges, this man, you know?
Yeah, it's about challenges. But it's also, you know, I've fought a lot of guys. It's funny because I remember one of the managers on Deontay Wilder's team came out to me one time and said he was looking at a bunch of top fighters' records, and the win percentage of fighters and the losses they had, you know, and the records of the fighters at the time they lost to the opponents they lost to. And they said I had the highest. I had the highest ranked percentage of opposition at the time I fought them, and their records at the time I fought them in boxing. And this was like last year, you know, when you compared my losses to everybody else's losses, and of course I'm also a two-time world champion. So, you know, people can criticize the 36-7 record, but I fought better than anybody in boxing.
When you
didn't always win,
but it made you a star.
But then it didn't always win. But then again, if anybody, it goes to show you that if anybody fights that kind of level of opposition, they will take their lumps. They will get beat. Not everybody fights this level of opposition.
When you fought Cotto, what did he break your
orbital bone?
How did you finish that fight? We saw Kilbrook wasn't able to continue. How did Paulie Malignaggi finish that fight?
It's funny because when Kel broke his orbit bone, I actually said it on the air. You know, I'm not a doctor, but I recognized similar reactions to what I was feeling. I remember Kel starting to paw at his face, and I remember feeling in the Cotto fight when it broke. Obviously, I didn't know it was broken, but I remember feeling a tingly feeling, like pins and needles in my face. You know, you have nerves in your up here that go travel to your teeth. So I remember feeling like my tooth got knocked out, and like there was pins and needles in my face. I remember it felt really weird, you know, like, but I remember telling myself, I specifically remember in the corner going, okay, I can breathe out my nose isn't broken. I can open my mouth, my jaw's not broken. I didn't even realize you could break these bones. It wasn't even, it hadn't dawned on me at that time. You know, it's funny, I think Mildred Taylor broke it against Chavez as well. So I was like, all right, good, you know, we'll figure it out. Then I'm starting to swell, and I'm like, something's wrong here, you know, but in the moment, I was so into the adrenaline of the fight, and I was younger. So when you're younger, you're taking more chances, you're risking more.
So what's wrong with you? Why do you want to go back in the ring? You're mad.
No, I know. I was more angry then. I was definitely angry then. It was like, it's funny, at that time I was angry at Cotto for the damage he was doing to me in the fight that I wanted to kick his ass. Now you do that kind of damage for me, I'm like, I'll probably be asking myself, man, I don't need this in my life. God, you
it's
know?
Like Carl Froch and Gennady Golovkin, you know. Froch is sitting with us at ringside, we've called the fight, and he looks at me afterwards and he starts sniffing, he's like, I think Golovkin's got weaknesses. I'm like, Carl. And he says, you know what, but I've done my nose, why would I come back?
It's true. That's a good
point. He has
money.
He has a construction company, right?
No, listen, Carl's got as much money as you need, you know, he looks after his money, he's a sensible guy. You know, but he said it costs money to do his nose. Listen, you'll get a lot more money fighting Golovkin.
Carl doesn't like making bad investments.
So you know what? He's been out a long time. You know it's. I don't know. I don't think that one, and I don't want him to fight anymore. I think fighters. It's so difficult. You know when to say no more. He's proved everything. Carl's proved everything. We all want to see Froch Golovkin. We all want to see him come back in a big fight and see if he's still got it. But you know, sometimes I think they've got really good careers outside the ropes. Think about that.
What brings fighters back though? We've seen it time and time again.
Guys can't say. What is it,
money,
or is it the drive? Is it the ego?
What can't make you stay away?
It's a little bit of everything. You know, I don't believe
here's Matt Macklin. He's a guy that he's given up, and he's happy to give up.
The knife, right?
But we've lost him.
Mac the Knife is funny.
Backstage.
Mac the Knife is funny because he's the only fighter, and when you guys interview, you got to ask him about this. He's the only fighter that
ground level
drank throughout his whole boxing career and gave up drinking when he retired. He did it backwards. You guys got to ask him when you catch him, when you corner him. You got to ask him. The only fighter in history to drink throughout his boxing career and retire when he stopped boxing.